after what was a fantastic first round. And the same voices to talk you through that, myself, Chris McCarthy, joined by good friend Guillaume Alvarez. Guillaume, how are you doing?
I'm very good, Chris. Thanks again for having me tonight. It's going to be another exciting night of racing on Assetto Corsa and the second round, as you said, of the European Series of W Funcup. And once again, a great pleasure to be at your side to commentate on this beautiful racetrack of Dijon in France.
Well, let's look at the championship points to start before we go and have a look at who was on track. So Hugo de Wilde absolutely blitzed the first round. He leads with 70 points at the moment. Max Leonard in second. Of course, only one round so far. So the top 10 in the championship, how they finished on track at round number 1, which was at Assen. Max Leonard was second. Riley Phillips rounded out the podium. Then we have Matthew Martins, Piers Stockton, Xavier Ville, Eric FC, which is Eric Steenlen. Pierre-Andre Guillaume was in 8th place. Then we had Axel Sawyers and Vincent de Clouseau rounded out the top 10. And for this round, Guillaume, the Dijon circuit in France, one you know well at all?
Yeah, absolutely. It brings a lot of memories back, into after seeing the VW Cup being there a couple of times over the past few years. The European VW Cup is quite familiar with this track, and Dijon Prenois, is one of the most appreciated tracks in France, certainly, and that has a lot of history. And as we can see right now, pretty much all the drivers are on track, practicing in this qualifying series, and you can see already on the screen that this track offers a lot of different configuration of corners and with the long straight line, of course, for the start and finish. But we're gonna go through this track in more description, in more details. But Dijon Prenois is a very, very nice location to go to, and certainly a track that has a lot to offer for the drivers and a lot of tricks to be able to manage through the course of the race.
Well, let's go then and have a look at our championship leader. That is Hugo de Wilde. He is second at the moment. Just seeing Hugo de Wilde make his way now downhill through this left-hander. Lots of undulation changes. That particularly a big undulation change here around the Dijon circuit. Nice livery on Hugo de Wilde as well. Let's see if he is going to be challenged this evening. He's not leading though. Julian Skeen leading. Hugo de Wilde is second in this qualifying session, which still has over 30 minutes remaining. Max Leonard is third. Riley Phillips is fourth. Then we have Jay Shepherd, Piers Stockton, Antoine Lachise is seventh. Charlie Hart in for Chris Hart is eighth. Xavier Ville ninth, and Louis Lachise rounds out the top 10. So those are the top 10. Hugo de Wilde second. Julian Skeen, I believe, has just come out onto the circuit, so we'll go and have a little look at him now. And Julian Skeen will have him take us on an onboard lap next time he makes his way up to the start-finish line. And perhaps, Guillaume, you can talk us round a lap maybe. So we'll wait for Julian to make his way round onto the start-finish straight, and then we will jump on board with him ready for an onboard lap. And here he goes down the start-finish straight. So we'll head on board with him now, Guillaume, and I'll let you talk us through a lap.
Yeah, absolutely, with pleasure. So a long straight start-finish line, and then you go through the double right-hander of La Courbe de Poisse, as we could say in French. And this is right now in the straight finish line. Heavy braking down into the gears and into the right-hander, double right-hander of Poisse, down the hill, actually, as you said, a lot of undulation into this track, and then going into, this is the Droite de Villeroi, my apologies, and then into the second sector of the Sabelier. And this is quite an interesting part of this track as well. As you can see, we go down the hill, up and down, with a lot of different direction changes. And it offers actually a lot of challenges for the drivers to be able to handle through the course of one lap. This is here the double right-hander. This is the hairpin of the parabolique, the corner number 7. And then we go down to the left-hander. As you can see on your screen, double left-hander of La Bretelle in French, then going up to the Courbe des Gorgenols, to the Virage de la Combe. A lot of different direction changes, as you can see. It's very important to be consistent on that kind of track, because you have a lot of blind corners, as some of the drivers described it to me coming to this race. Then we're gonna go soon to the conclusion of this lap, go on the start finish straight, as you can see. So a very interesting track, 3.8 kilometers, 2.3 miles for this Dijon Prenois circuit. Very challenging, very up and down kind of layout. So it's going to be very interesting, and a few of the places that we have here that are very good for overtaking.
Thanks very much, Guillaume. So great to be talked around a lap there of the Dijon circuit, and Julian leading the way in terms of lap times. Hugo de Wilde, who took a couple more points. We'll go back and have a look at him now. He sits in second, so he did take that extra couple of points as well, just to add to his lead in terms of championship points even further. Let's have now a look at Max Leonard. In fact, we'll go on board with Max Leonard because he is currently chasing Hugo de Wilde. We can see him just ahead of us. Max Leonard perhaps just making use of the track limits a little bit too much there. Drivers from round one were being caught out with track limits, but at Assen, but that has since been worked on by the team. So we're coming down this long start-finish straight, Guillaume. And I think me and you, of course, both work together in karting, in commentating, and in karting, you know, you've got to work together. I think that's going to be the same in this race, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and David Zager I talked to coming to this race told me that this start-finish line, either you get to follow one of the other drivers in the car to be able to benefit from the start-finish line better straight and better speed straight. Otherwise, you get blocked behind the other car. So yeah, actually getting the fastest lap that you can, you as you said, you need to work together and be able to get the best speed at the end of the straight as you can. But once again, once you get on a good speed in the start-finish line, you know, the second and third sector of the track, that's quite another challenge. You know, as you can see, the drivers tend to lose the car just a bit outside of each corner. So you need to just let the car go and try to keep on the best line as you can. But it's not an easy task, but because as we said, there's a lot of elevation changes on this Dijon track, and you need just to stick to the best line as you can. Otherwise, you lose the car quite easily. But on the start-finish line, that's for sure. You need, if you get the opportunity to be behind another driver, you get to take advantage of the speed of the other car. As we can see now, maybe there's a bit of a distance, maybe too much distance for Max Leonard to be able to really benefit from Hugo de Wilde's speed. But that's the way to do it in order to get as much traction as you can.
Great stuff. We'll now actually head down to, let's have a look. We'll go down to Jay Shepherd because he's just come out of pit lane. Riley Phillips in fourth place is currently in the pits. Piers Stockton in fifth. Oh no, Jay Shepherd. Oh, big incident there. Jay Shepherd being caught out by a driver ahead who had just spun round. And Jay Shepherd may have to head back to pit lane there. So not too sure actually who that was that ahead of him that had sent spinning round, but he was left with nowhere to go, Jay Shepherd. And we'll actually then have a look at some of the other drivers. So why don't we go to seventh place here, Guillaume?
Yeah, this is Antoine Laquiez, the French driver. This is one of the new ones that we have for this round, Antoine Laquiez. We have actually two brothers for this round, Antoine and Louis Laquiez, two young French drivers that are part of the No Limit racing team. And that's a brand new team, but we're going to be able to talk about them in more details coming to the race. But, you know, it's very nice of them to be joining us for this second round of the European Funcup series, because they were not with us in Assen for the kickoff of the championship. Now they're here. They got actually 4 cars lined up here in Dijon with 4 drivers, including Antoine Laquiez and his brother Louis. And I got a chance to talk to one of the guys, actually one of the 4 drivers. Aligning himself for this round, Merwan Adjouj, that we're going to see on track a bit later on. And, they come with a lot of ambitions. So it's going to be interesting to see what those young French drivers are going to be able to do against the opposition. And that's quite a strong opposition. And Antoine Laquiez, is full, as we said, of ambition, and is going to be willing to at least first try to do something good in qualifying. And if we take a look indeed at the lap times as we speak, 1:35.7 for Antoine Laquiez, down in 7th position, and this is down 0.2 of a second, a bit more, sorry, 1.2, my apologies, from Julien Skeen at the top of the list at the moment, but we still have a bit less than half an hour to go before the end of qualifying, so Antoine Laquiez is still in a good rhythm.
Good stuff. Let's have a look then at 8th place, Xavier Ville. Guillaume, he is in 6th in the championship. So we've only had one round, so championship points aren't a huge factor, but a fairly good start to the season here for Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier did indeed some good results back in Assen. He's part of the M3M team from my friend Jean-Luc Dubois. Very competitive team in the French Funcup and the European Funcup as well. Part of the team that has, for this track and this round, 9 cars from the M3M team. This is the most represented team of them all. And once again, we have to thank them, for being able, for being part of this event, and showing such a good passion and such a will to be part of the competition. So, once again, a big thank to Jean-Luc Dubois and his entire crew for being part of this event. And indeed, is one of them, Xavier Ville, currently in 8th position in the timesheet. But is one of the guys to keep an eye on, certainly, Xavier Ville, after a good start in Assen with a good 6th position on the Netherlands track.
Good stuff. Well, Xavier Ville, as we said, in 8th, and you face Charlie Hart is in 9th, running Chris Hart's colours. So we'll see how Charlie Hart gets on this evening. It's going to be his first time racing with us, I believe. Chris Hart, a regular across both the European and UK series, running particularly well in the UK series is Chris Hart. So we'll see how Charlie gets on. He's just come out the pits.
He's only young, isn't he,
as
Charlie?
we see, he's on his outlap, and he is in 9th. But let's move to 10th place. Louis Laquiez. He is 3/10 behind Charlie Hart. Just inside the top 10. It's very close, that section of the order, isn't it, Guillaume, between Louis Laquiez and behind, going down to Eric there in 13th place. Extremely close battle for the lower order of the top 10 and just beyond.
Yeah, definitely. And, that's good stuff that we can see in qualifying. It's already very competitive. And as we've seen in Assen, for those of you who were with us for the first run in the Netherlands, the order was already so competitive and so close in qualifying, and we saw that happening in the race. Chris, it was such a good level of racing, battling not so much for victory, because Hugo de Wilde was absolutely unbeatable and untouchable from the rest of the field, but for the podium and from the other ranks down in the field, we've seen a lot of very, very good racing, and the level of competition between those guys is very high. So it's not, it comes as a little surprise to see so tiny gaps, even in the midfield, basically, as you said. And Louis Laquiez, we are on board right now in the 3rd part of the track of Dijon, is going up, shall we say, in the 2nd part of the track. And it's going to be interesting to see, what the French drivers are going to be able to do, because they are on home soil, basically. And I'm pretty sure that more than one is going to be willing to shine against the opposition. And we have a strong opposition from Belgium, from the UK, and from other countries in Europe as well.
Good stuff. We'll move away from Louis Laquiez and head now to 11th place, which is not having a good time of things there. Facing almost the wrong way is a shingle there. So we'll head to the next driver on circuit, which is Moeen Hajouj in 12th place, and in a little trio of cars here, just trying to get into the top 10, just fighting for that lower order of the top 10. Hugo de Wilde, I think one of the cars just ahead of us for Merwain there. So has put himself in a good place here, Guillaume, to get a toe off someone who is leading the championship now and try and improve on his time and hopefully get into the top 10.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. And Merwan is one of the young guys, that we have on side right now. Is I had a chance to talk to him coming to this race on the phone, to get a bit more details about the No Limit Racing team. Is part of the team, is one of the 4 drivers on track, and it's very, he showed a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of motivation to to be able to be part of this event for the first time. And they don't come here just for the show, just for the fun. They're here to have fun, of course, as we all are. Just to try to enjoy ourselves as much as possible. But they're here just to try to do something. To battle for the podium, and why not for the win. And that will be interesting to see. But Marwan told me that No Limit Racing actually, we'll get to that in more details, but is a very well known and very competitive French team in the very Funcup championship series in France, and they actually won the championship last year in 2019, and are part of the top favorites for this year. As soon as we get back on track, which will happen in the coming weeks. So it's good to see No Limit being part of this event. They need to keep themselves busy, and Merwan Adjouj is, shall we say, maybe not one of the most experienced drivers. He only got to practice and do some track days, but he's here to help. He's here to support the team, and we'll keep an eye on the other drivers of the No Limit Racing lineup, and this is going to be interesting for sure.
Good stuff. We'll move away now from Merwain, go down to 13th place, which is Eric, 4 thousandths away from 12th. Eric was 7th in the championship. In fact, jump on board with Eric now. He is just following Jay Shepherd here. We can see from the onboard view that Jay Shepherd just ahead of us. Jay Shepherd a little bit out of shape as we come now down through this left-handed. Got to take a lot of curb through there. And we can see just into the middle of your screen in that little race logic box how Eric is doing in comparison with his personal best. So not on just off his personal best so far, and you can see just got a little bit sideways coming out of that uphill right-hander, so he's going to drop now around half a second in terms of time. This is a tricky corner, double left. You've got to miss the first curve and then pick up the second, but 7th in the championship, Guillaume. So had again another decent start to the season, and that first round it was a case of just trying to get through, stay out of trouble, and get through to the end safely.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been some change about this. We'll get to that in a moment. But we've seen in Assen some of the top drivers able to battle for a win, being penalized for going across the track and not respecting the track limits. There's been some change that I believe that those penalties have been being made less serious, shall I say, for this event. So we shall see a bit more of drivers going around the sides of the track. So less penalties, hopefully, for the race to come. But as you said, in the case of Eric Stelling, he did a good job indeed, going, finishing in 7th position out of 10th, finishing in Assen. We have seen a lot of DNF, not including the drivers who couldn't finish the race because of penalties due to track limits. But a good job as well, and a good start of the championship, as you said. And one of the drivers to keep an eye on, done in 13 at the moment.
Good stuff. We'll move away then from Eric and go to 14th place, which is Axel Sawyers, finished inside the top 10 at the opening round. So it's 9th in the championship is Axel. And Axel Sawyers, 14th in qualifying so far. So Guillaume will, I'm sure, be hoping to improve on that, given where he finished last time.
Yeah, there's room for improvement, isn't it? And Axel Sawyers is one of the drivers of the M3M lineup, one of the 9 cars aligning for this event here in Dijon. And one of the drivers once again to keep an eye on for battling in the midfield. As you said, he was 9 in Assen, and I'm pretty sure he has the potential to go up the order, down in 14 at the moment, but still a bit less than 20 minutes to go, and plenty of room for improvement. He's just down 0.2 of a second from the driver just in front of him for access to him. That we can see now on the start finish straight. Very interesting one. Start finish straight when you can actually have a lot of overtaking opportunities.
The thoughts of Guillaume there in just a second. Axel Sawyers just pulling over, so we'll move away from Axel now and go to Pierre-Andre Guillaume. Pierre-Andre Guillaume is sitting in 15th place overall, only 39 thousandths back from 14th place, which is Axel Sawyers. Pierre-Andre Guillaume sitting in 15th, and why don't we jump on board with him just for a while so we can see Pierre-Andre Guillaume, 39 thousandths back from 14th place. Right on board, we can see many overtaking sections that I'm sure we are going to come up to. This uphill right-hander, very tricky corner. We've got a car just over to our left there as we now make our way down towards this left-hander, double left-hander. Pierre-Andre Guillaume deciding to take just a slightly tighter line. We've seen guys tonight go a little bit wider there. Pierre-Andre Guillaume going for a slightly narrower line through that corner. As now through the right-hander we go. We got a car that was briefly parked in the way, and this the last corner now, downhill right-hander. And Pierre-Andre Guillaume will bring us round to the start-finish line. He sits in 16th place. Let's jump out of that on board now. And why don't we go to 17th place, which is Robin Donat. Robin is half a second back from Pierre-Andre Guillaume and currently rounds out the field. So that is a look at the entire field. We'll head back to the driver who is currently sitting at the top. It is Max Leonard, but Max Leonard about to come into the pits. So we will jump to the driver who sits just behind him, and that is Julian Skeen. It is very close in terms of times, isn't it? We've got Max Leonard on a 134.475. It's a 0.512 then for Julian Skeen, so only half a tenth behind. And then Hugo de Wilde a further 10th back from that, with Riley Phillips, the fourth driver, to go sub 1 minute 35. So 4 drivers below the 1 minute 35 mark, all of them capable of fighting for pole position, but Max Leonard has the advantage so far. Guillaume, it is close, isn't it? When in terms of looking at lap times here, you'd have to say any one of those 4 are capable of going for pole position. 3 of them are the drivers that finished inside the podium places at the opening round. I'm just going to have a look now back at the driver who is currently leading the way in this qualifying session, which is Max Leonard. So we'll pick him up as he is on an outlap. But Julian Skeen is kind of the new to the party here, Guillaume.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be once again fascinating to see. If we once again are going to have the same top contenders battling for the podium or the victory in this round. As you said, Maxime Linard, Hugo de Wilde, and Riley Phillips down in 4th position. Those are the names that we've seen battling, at least finishing in the top 3 in Assen for the round 1. Hugo de Wilde was pretty much or totally unbeatable after starting from pole position. And then he managed to have a good start, and pull away from Riley Phillips. And then once he was in the lead, he was just unreachable, and it just managed to build on the gap, and lap after lap had to control his race and did nothing wrong. He just didn't put a wheel wrong on the track and just went all the way to the checkered flag. But what was way more interesting, if you guys were with us in Assen for the round 1, was the battle for 2nd place between the Maxime Linard and Riley Phillips. And in the end, Maxime just had the upper hand on Raleigh, but what a fantastic battle it was. But Julien Chine, indeed, as you said, is in second place at the moment. We have less than 15 minutes to go before the end of qualifying, and this is now that the battle begins for pole position. The gaps are very, very tiny up in the upper part of the timing sheet. So this is going to be interesting, and this is now that the battle is on.
Good stuff. Well, we stay with Max Leonard as he prepares for a full lap. In fact, we'll have a look back at Hugo de Wilde, because Hugo de Wilde is the car that the other car we can see in view, and Hugo de Wilde is third in the standings currently. So Hugo de Wilde is just getting attempted. Well, what was that all about? There we go. Just blocking off Max Leonard there. Not too sure what's going on between these two. Seem to be playing games with each other a little bit. I think, Guillaume, this is a case of Max Leonard wants to get the toe off Hugo de Wilde, and I think Hugo de Wilde has been slowing down to attempt him to go by again. So why don't we jump on board, in fact, with Max Leonard, as he will, I'm sure, be pushing Hugo de Wilde on to the next lap here, Guillaume.
Yeah, he just does it right now, yeah.
Hugo de Wilde is getting off the throttle there, isn't he? Look, he seems to be slowing down here.
Yeah, it seems like is he trying to block his opponent already? We have done less than 30 minutes to go, and down in the first double right-hander of the track, a very, very tricky first part. Actually, you need to get into the corner in the right speed and try to manage the best exit as you can, because this is the tricky part, the most technical part of the track, and this is where you can actually quite easily lose a bit of time and screw your lap. And now, actually, as we are on board with Maxime Leonard just behind Hugo de Wilde, I'm not quite sure if Hugo is currently trying, just to put some more pressure on Maxime Leonard's shoulders, but definitely he's playing with his nerves, because he's just in front of him, and both of them are trying to go as fast as they can. But it was already a bit, they're trying to get on each other in the start finish line. So that's interesting. But at the moment, Maxime Leonard should actually stay behind Hugo. I think not trying anything stupid. Try to go, to get at the end of the lap, complete the lap, and then they both go quite wide in that corner. But try to see what they can do in this lap, and then go for another round, because they have a bit less than 12 minutes to go before the end of qualifying at this stage.
Good stuff. We stay on board with Max Leonard, who is now behind Hugo de Wilde once again, going on to the next lap. Let's see if Hugo de Wilde is willing to play ball this time as they make their way up to the start-finish straight. And the power of the toe there, I'm told it probably can gain you around half a second, if not 7/10 around this lap. But these two seem to just be playing games with each other a little bit. And while they do that, I actually want to go and have a look at another driver, someone we actually haven't looked at a huge amount this evening, Guillaume, and that is Riley Phillips. We go to him now. He is behind Piers Stockton, and he had a good battle with Piers Stockton. For those of you who are following our UK series, you'll notice that you'll remember, if you were tuned in for the second round at Anglesey, that these two for a long period were fighting for the win there. And Riley actually got his first win of the season across both the UK and Euro Series last time out, which was last weekend at Anglesey, which was great to see. Riley, the organiser, the creator of this car as well, the creator of the championship, and he is behind Piers Stockton. So why don't we jump on board with him, Guillaume? Trailing Piers Stockton on track, but not in terms of position. Stockton is in 6th place, Riley Phillips in 4th, but Stockton a very capable driver, so Riley Phillips in a good position here.
Yeah, definitely, but I think he's being a little bit blocked, as we can see right now. He's trying to make his way past right now, just in front of Stockton, just trying to get the fastest lap as he can. But can he be able to, take advantage of the toe right now in the start-finish straight? Doesn't seem to be the case. Riley is a bit, pushed down by his opponent. But Riley Phillips once again. They're going side by side almost already, and it was a bit of a, tricky moment there for Raleigh, who goes around the outside of Verstappen indeed in the first corner. So no major problem for Raleigh. But once again, we have to mention that Raleigh has been doing a lot of good job, and he goes out of the session, I think, going back to the pit lane. So he's going to maybe try again on the next lap to put a lap together. Currently in fourth position, Riley Phillips. It's fair to mention that Riley has been doing a lot of strong job and strong work in the background to make this event once again possible, and is the one behind this championship. And we couldn't be thankful enough for Raleigh to put this event together, and he is quite good at it. As you said, he won not so long ago in the UK Championship, and he came close to win in Spa in the pre-race of the European Series. He came close to maybe finish in second position in Assen 2 weeks ago. So he's one of the drivers to keep an eye on for the battle for the win, definitely.
Well, we look at Piers Stockton, who is fifth in the championship coming into this. And Piers Stockton has had a strong start, and I think he's actually, is he just letting someone go by? Yes, not too sure if that's him slowing down to come into the pits. He is only on his out lap, so I think he might just be trying to give himself a little bit of room here. That's Riley Phillips, you'll be able to see in the background, that is closing in. So the two find themselves together on track once again, which is going to be quite interesting. But Piers didn't get off to the best of starts in the UK season, got disqualified from the first round. It was just over something that happened at the start of the race, something that caught a couple of people out. But since then, he's had very good results. Podium finishes in the UK series at rounds 2 and 3, and fifth place to get off to a good start in the Euro series. And currently, he's now being pushed along by Riley Phillips as they make their way down towards turn number 1 here at Dijon. And this, Guillaume, really gives us a taste of what we can potentially expect come the races.
Absolutely. Look at them going already almost side by side down in the first corner. And actually, the game, this is a game, of course, but it gives a bit of a glimpse of what we can have in real life in terms of elevation changes. But this track of Dijon is really bumpy. And to some of the drivers I've talked to and asked questions about the layout and how to manage best the circuit and to extract the best of your car, they pretty much all told me that, Dijon is a tricky track, very challenging, with some blind corners such as this one that we can see right now. This is double right-hander, the parabolic hairpin in the middle of the track. And these are some of the corners that you cannot actually see the exit of it. And of course, lap by lap, how to manage each of those corners. But still, in race conditions, this can be actually quite interesting to see. And in terms of battle, in real life, in terms of the European Funcup, last time they came here in Dijon was back in 2018. And we've seen some incredible racing happening here in Dijon with really battles for the victory going for lap after lap and for almost the entire race. And hopefully it should be once again the case here in virtual racing.
Well, here they go down the start-finish straight and down towards turn number 1. And Riley just working together with Piers here. Piers, who does some racing in karting as well, races in the BPEC Pro Kart Series. Riley likewise won 3 championships on the bounce at Wilton Mill, something that hadn't been done before across 3 different classes. That was as well. Downhill into this left, and great to see these two working together. 2 Brits, of course, Guillaume as well. So all the drivers ahead are from different countries around Europe. Piers and Riley, the 2 leading UK drivers on track, and then we have a third in Jay Shepherd in 6th. So those guys flying the flag for the UK, and good to see them working together.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fair to say that we have some of the best young drivers in the Funcup from the UK, from France, from Belgium. And it's good to see, because we've seen the interest growing up over the past weeks in the first round, the pre-test, and then the first round in Assen, now in Dijon, and we have 9 more races to go after this one, all through the year until October, if I'm not mistaken. So there's plenty of fun to have altogether on a lot of very, very nice tracks. This one being only the second. Then we go to Manicourt, Le Dénon, Port-Ricard, a lot of very nice location in France, and then all the France, of course, in Dubai, yes, Marina, and all the others afterwards. But Dijon is an interesting one, and the level of the lineup is indeed very high. And we have Pierre Stockton going a bit wide in the first corner into the it was the exit of the first corner into the gravel, but not so much of a trouble, I think it was.
Well, we'll just while that's happened, we'll see who else is on circuit. I'm actually going to have a look at Julian in third place. He's just 37 thousandths back from Max Leonard, and it continues to get very close here, Guillaume. It's particularly between our top two. There's only 200ths of a second. We haven't. I'll tell you what. We've been so distracted, actually, just talking about the drivers, that we haven't really focused enough on the time. So let's go have a full run through. So Hugo de Wilde 134.455, Max Leonard 200ths of a second back, 134.475. Then Julian Skeen less than a tenth back from Hugo de Wilde, around half a tenth in third. Riley Phillips is fourth, just half a second back from pole position. Around 7 thousandths back from Riley is Pierce Stockton, and then just outside of the 134 mark, so 135.2 it is for Jay Shepherd. Laquies is seventh, that's Antoine, with Louis in 8th. Xavier Ville is 9th. Charlie Hart is 10th place, and then just outside of the top 10 we have the likes of Shinkel there, Hajouj de Clouseau, who joined a little bit late in the session. He's in 13th. Eric FC 14th. David de Siga 15th. Pierre-Andre Guillaume is 16th. Axel Sawyer is 17th. Robin Donar is in 18th place. So that is the full order. Julian Skeen is the only one within the top 6 currently out on track. But I'm not sure if we're going to see any of those other top 6 actually set a time here. And it looks like Julian's calling it a day as well. We only have 2 minutes left, Guillaume. So those top 6, unless David de Siga and co can do something, that might be how the first 3 rows line up.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had expected the last minutes of the qualifying to be the most hectic in terms of lap time, and we're pretty much right. And as you will just jumped up in the first position of the timesheet, 134.4, Maxime Linard, as you said. Julien Chine, interesting to see what he's going to be able to do in the Vaillant colored VW Funcup for this round, in third position currently. The Belgian driver that we've seen over the past years competing on other racetracks and as in karting as well, Julien Chine, and one of the names to pop up for this second round in the car that used to drive for the first round. I think it was Steve Klaas that used to be driving the Vaillant colored car for the first round in Assen, and now we have Julien Chine in his seat. So interesting to see what he's going to be able to do as we just entered the last minute of qualifying on board David de Zager down in 7th position. Let's see what he's going to be able to do in terms of lap time. David de Zager crossing the start finish line right now, and not so much of a change. Yeah, he remains in 7th position, David de Zager.
Well, David de Siga is well, I can see him in 7th, but I'm not too sure if that's the case for you guys. So I'm going to move away from that one and go to Antoine Laquies. He is in 8th place. But let's just have a general overview, Guillaume, of who is where, because we are coming to the end of the session now, and we have Hugo de Wilde still leading, and I think we have what our list is going to be in the in terms of the race. So it's going to be Hugo de Wilde who's going to start from pole position. Max Leonard will be second, Julian Skeen in third, Riley Phillips fourth, Pierce Stockton fifth, Chase Shepherd sixth. David de Seeger, I believe, will be in seventh, and it will be Antoine and Louis Laquiers, Xavier Ville 10th, Eric Steenlin will be 11th, Charlie Hart 12th, Mowain Hajouj will be 13th, Decluso 14th, Eric FC 15th, Eric Steenlin will be in 15th, sorry. Then we will have Pierre-Andre Guillaume 16th, Axel Sawyer 17th, Robin Donar 17th. So that's Schinkel in 11th place. Apologies. So that is the order, and that seems to be the checkered flag as well.
Absolument. Et voilà, le drapeau à la mise sur la séance qualificative et une pole position qui me semble pour le moins définitive de la part de Hugo de Wilde. Une nouvelle pole position, la deuxième d'affilée après le premier round qui avait lieu sur le circuit du TT Assen aux Pays-Bas. Il y a 2 semaines de cela, Hugo de Wilde, le jeune belge représentant du Belgian Very Club, qui s'est donc imposé au terme de cette séance qualificative d'une petite heure, une 34,4 dixièmes. C'est 2 centièmes de seconde d'avance seulement sur Maxime Lénard, l'ingénieur bien connu du team M3M, tous les deux sur les mêmes couleurs. Hugo de Wilde avec la Flower Power et Maxime Lénard en deuxième position. Julien Shane, nouveau venu en troisième position. Riley Phillips, l'instigateur donc de cette compétition, en quatrième position et la suite du classement. So another pole position, Chris, for Hugo de Wilde as we speak. That's another one after Assen, and certainly once again a good demonstration of the ambition of Hugo de Wilde to maybe claim another victory in this championship.
Yeah, well, that is going to be now a 10-minute break for a quick interval, and then we will be getting into the race. So the cars are going to grid up now, but there will be a quick interval. We're going to take an interval on comms as well. We will be back then to do a countdown once we get to 3 minutes to go. I mean, in fact, we'll make it 5 minutes, shall we? When we then will build up to the race and run through the grid. In the meantime, though, we're going to play some highlights from the season opener for you for Assen.
Jesus, I can't type. Oh. Well, they all turned up right at the end. Right, what do I do now? Do I go drive and then you just sit there on the grid waiting? Okay, and I can't go back to the bloody pits then? Nope, you can't go back to pits then. Okay. We seem to have everybody there, so... Is there any way of getting a camera that looks... Press F3 again. You can switch between what camera. Okay, they don't have any other cameras. You can press F5 and then flick through people, and that'll do like a nice pan around if you hold right click. But like, no, I'm not gonna mess with it.
Okay, everyone. Well, we are getting ready to go for the second round of the Virtual Funcup European Series here from Dijon. And the grid will be as follows. The pole position driver is going to be, well, you can see the grid is set. The drivers are getting themselves ready to go. And very shortly, we will be underway and racing. It's going to be a fantastic race, I'm sure. Guillaume Alvarez is alongside me. Guillaume, your thoughts ahead of this one?
Yeah, good evening once again, everyone. Good evening, Chris. And well, once again, it's going to be a great race to follow all together, and such a great event, such a great location here in Dijon. And it's nice to see that once again we have the same names pretty much that made the race at Assen. Hugo de Wilde in pole position for the second weekend running. Ray Phillips, Maxime Linard, and a new name coming up for this weekend, Julien Shane, who's going to be willing certainly to play his part in the game and in this race. So let's see how it's going to unfold. But we have a good grid, a good level of competition, and 1 hour of racing on this beautiful track. That's going to be certainly exciting.
Yeah, well, the grid is just working itself out at the moment there, so we'll do a proper run through of that. But we have some of our usual faces towards the front, and Guillaume, you're bringing us the French updates throughout the race as well. So I'll let you give us a quick update in French before we go live.
Absolutely. Bonsoir à toutes et tous, chers amis, bienvenue encore ce soir ici sur le circuit non plus d'Assen comme il y a 2 semaines, mais sur le circuit de Dijon-Prenois en France pour le deuxième round de la European Funcup Series, deuxième manche de la compétition mise sur pied par Riley Phillips. Nous sommes très heureux évidemment avec Chris McCarthy de vous avoir ici, alors que les secondes s'égrènent avant le départ de cette deuxième épreuve de la compétition. Hugo de Wilde, le représentant du Belgian Very Club et de la Flower Power, est en pole position pour la deuxième épreuve consécutive. Riley Phillips et Maxime Linard à ses côtés. 10 secondes. Chris, we're going to be good to go.
Right, here we go then. Lights are now coming on. Virtual Funcup European Series, round number 2 from Dijon is go, and they are away and racing then. Down towards turn number 1 we go, and we can see Hugo de Wilde is leading the way as we make our way. Oh, incidents off in the background, but coming down towards turn number 1, the door has opened here, and Max Leonard is going to dive down the inside of Hugo de Wilde, and Max Leonard has gone through. Riley Phillips trying to go through with him into second place, and indeed he has done so. There we have Hugo de Wilde dropping down towards third. Julian Skeen is in fourth as they make their way downhill on this first lap. Max Leonard having to defend here from Riley Phillips. Hugo de Wilde trying to get down the inside of Riley Phillips, just a little bit of contact, and Hugo de Wilde has gone through. So all of this has given Max Leonard just a little bit of breathing space out front. Hugo de Wilde having to defend here from Riley Phillips as they come up through the uphill right-hander. Max Leonard with a bit of a gap. We'll have a look now at Hugo de Wilde in second. We can focus on him quickly as he has both Riley Phillips and Julian Skeen just behind, and then the Laquiers brothers are fighting away there with Jay Shepherd, and the light blue car in the background, that is Piers Stockton. He is in 8th place on this opening lap. But let's jump on board with our 4th place driver, Julian Skeen, as we round out the first lap. Looks like he has just gone down the inside of Riley Phillips. He's now gone into third. We're on board with Julian Skeen, and we have ahead of us both Hugo de Wilde, and then just ahead of him our race leader.
Yeah, what a first lap it was indeed from both Hugo de Wilde and Riley Phillips, and that's unlike that we've seen in Assen. Hugo de Wilde was able to make his way up to first position and to keep his advantage, and we see a good battle going on between Julien Shane and behind him. This is Riley Phillips, coming up in 3rd position. Maxime Linard leading the way down into the first corner. Donc un premier tour vraiment très 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 serré, et contrairement à ce qu'on a vu à Assen il y a 2 semaines, eh bien Hugo de Wilde n'est pas parvenu à reprendre l'avantage sur Riley Phillips. Pour l'instant, c'est Maxime Linard qui mène la la danse. Riley Phillips en 3e position qui va peut-être tenter de ravir la 2e place au jeune Belge après s'être intégré en 3e place au détriment de Julia Shane. C'est une très belle manœuvre de dépassement dans le premier virage. Et on voit ici le peloton encore très très compact. Maxime Lénard en première position, Hugo de Wilde dans sa roue et qui va tenter peut-être déjà de lui ravir le leadership dans ses premiers instants d'épreuve. Et puis nous avons le duel pour la 2e place entre Riley Phillips et Julia Shane. Et vous l'avez dit, Chris, Pierre Stockton en 5e position. Et puis les frères Antoine et Louis Lachiez en 6e et 7e place. Alors que c'est très très serré là-bas dans la remontée du 3e secteur. What a start of the race. But as we said, Hugo de Wilde in 2nd position wasn't able, Chris, to keep the 1st place as he did in Assen 2 weeks ago.
Yep, let's jump on board with Hugo de Wilde as he dives down the inside here of Max Leonard. I was about to think, was he going to be working with Max Leonard? But Hugo de Wilde has now gone through, and now we have this long run down towards turn number 1. Let's jump out view, and we can have a look now once we jump out of the car that Hugo de Wilde is side by side with Max Leonard, and behind side by side action going on there between Riley Phillips and Julian Skeen. Julian Skeen to the inside of Riley Phillips, so 2 by 2 they go in towards turn number 1 here at Dijon. Hugo de Wilde gets down the inside there of Max Leonard to take the race lead, and behind that it looks like Riley Phillips is still side by side there. We'll go back to him. He's side by side still with Julian Skeen. Julian Skeen has now gone through and into 3rd place. Let's have a look what's going on behind this. It looks like if we jump back to 5th place, we can see Piers Stockton is under pressure here from Antoine Laquiers, the 2 brothers, 6th and 7th place. Jay Shepherd trying to go with them in 8th. Then a big gap back to Vincent de Clouseau, Guillaume, who's had a good start to the race. He is in 9th.
Yeah, and is battling all the way through this upper part of the field in this, as we can see, and some of the drivers going around the outside a bit, outside of the track as we speak. But Pierre Stockton and Riley Phillips in 4th position. Pierre Stockton under pressure, as you said, from the Laquiers brother. Now this is going to be tricky for them to get past the British driver, but good work so far from them both. As we have around the just outside the top 10, as we have Eric FC down in 10th, Charlie Hart in 11, Robin Danat in 12, David Zager down in 13th position, the Belgian driver, who has had not so many great memories of Dijon, but a bit of experience on this very track. Then we have Skingel in 14th place, 15th place for Xavier Well, and the rest of the field. And the battle is going on once again for 3rd position between Julien Shane and Riley Phillips. And Riley Phillips has just made his way up to 3rd, but Johnny Shane, I think, is going to try to fight back into the first corner. Yes, he does, and back into 3rd position once again. We're into the first laps, and they're going side by side down into the 2nd sector.
Yeah, great stuff here. We'll jump on board now with Riley Phillips and have a look at his camera angle here, so we can see just ahead of us there is 3rd place Julian Skeen. It's now whether Riley Phillips here decides to work with Julian, because there isn't a big gap really. Max Leonard and Hugo de Wilde are pretty much just there. You'd have to say that this is a lead quartet rather than 2 groups of 2 now. Then we have a 3-second gap behind us where we find the likes of Louis Laquiers, Piers Stockton, Jay Shepherd and Antoine Laquiers. So there's been a couple of changes there, but we remain on board here with Riley Phillips as we go down towards this double left-hander. Still a long way to go in this race. It's an hour race. This is only the 2nd round in the championship. We are currently with Riley Phillips ahead of us, and leading the race is Hugo de Wilde. He's trying to break away, but Max Leonard trying to stay with him. The gap is just under a second as they come round to complete another lap.
Yeah, definitely. And this is the start of the race that we had expected, and this is going full pressure right now from the top 4. As you can see, the gap is building between Riley Phillips and Pierre Stockton as we have a battle going on once again, and a move coming up from Julia Sheen on Maxime Lénard. Yes, he does and succeed in his maneuver, and we have Julia Sheen making his way up to 2nd position in front of Maxime Lénard down into the 1st corner, and no problem at all for Hugo de Wilde now in the lead after 4 laps completed into the 5th one. But now Julien Sheen is in 2nd position in front of Maxime Lénard and Riley Phillips, who could try, Chris, to take advantage of the situation. And this Quade, as you said, in front of the race reminds me of a situation that we have seen 2 years ago for the European Funcup in Dijon on this very track. We had a fantastic battle with 4 cars happening all the way through to the race until the checkered flag. And until the very last lap, it was even undecided on who was going to win in what order. So hopefully we're going to see once again the same scenario, maybe between those four, maybe between other drivers, but this is really on a good start.
Yeah, we're on board here with Julian Sheen. We've got Ugo de Wilde just up the road, less than a second. So Julian Sheen's still with him. He could do with a little bit of a nudge here from Max Leonard. So we're staying with the leaders. We are, I promise you, going to look down the field as well. But this a battle which is really hard to take your eyes off. We've got the little arrow at the bottom of the screen telling us that Max Leonard is just behind. Julian Sheen needs to try and stay in the tow, but he's now going to give the tow of Ugo de Wilde to Max Leonard. So kind of IndyCar, NASCAR style racing, this, isn't it, Guillaume? They're just letting each other go, but now it seems that they're going to fight each other too hard. We'll have to look outside the car and see what's going on here. So Julian Sheen just going down just on the inside here, defending from Max Leonard. Max Leonard was briefly ahead, drops back in behind. I fear, Guillaume, they're just fighting too hard here in a race with 51 minutes to go.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe it's a little bit too soon for them to battle that hard. And, we would expect those drivers to try to work together to decrease the gap on the leader, for example. But, they just give everything that they have already at that early stage in the race. So we'll see, as we go through the race, we'll see if that strategy pays off. But in terms of tire consumption and tire wear, that might not be the best of the options that those drivers want to take, as this Dijon circuit is very, very demanding, not only on the tires, but on the cars as well. And still, this is a beautiful battle that we can see there side by side in the middle sector of the track. And Maxime Lénard is making his way past Julian Sheen for second position. And Riley Phillips is doing actually a pretty decent job done in fourth position. He's observing, he's watching closely as we do what's going to happen between those two, because in that sort of situation, an incident is sometimes likely to happen. If you got a touch, maybe one or the two drivers could go off track, and this could profit to one of the drivers following. But we're not there yet. But this is good battle. But after only 10 minutes, a bit less than that, this is maybe a bit too early for one of the drivers, as Julian Sheen is making his way up to second place down into the first sector. But Maxime Lénard is down into the first corner around the inside, beautifully made by Maxime Lénard, back into second position. But Julian Sheen has still something to say in this battle.
Yeah, we're on board here with Julian Sheen. Oh, the contact there with Max Leonard. What happened? Have to go out. Just have to have a look there. I'm not too sure. But Max Leonard has disappeared. Let's try and find out where he is. Just going back to fourth place, I can see Max Leonard has lost a huge amount of time there. What a real shame. That was just appeared to be a slight bit of contact, and it just put Max Leonard's car out of shape. And Max Leonard is now 2.5 seconds away from third place driver Riley Phillips. What a shame that was, Guillaume. Just has broken up what was a fantastic battle there. So just looking at Max Leonard, we can see Pierce Stockton not too far behind. But Guillaume, of course, you're offering us bilingual commentary this evening. So something we'll try and do every 10 minutes. So as we reach the 10-minute in mark, I'll let you do an update for us.
Absolutely, thank you Chris, merci beaucoup. Eh bien, si vous nous rejoignez maintenant, soyez les bienvenus pour ce deuxième round de la Virtual European VFN Cup Series. Nous sommes ici à Dijon, Prenois, sur le magnifique circuit français pour la deuxième joute de ce championnat qui compte 11 épreuves tout au long de l'année. Et comme vous pouvez le constater sur votre écran, eh bien, Ugo de Wilde est pour l'instant en train de gérer totalement sa course depuis le départ. Après le premier tour un peu chahuté, eh bien, le jeune Belge, vainqueur de la première manche à Assen, mène la danse sans s'en laisser compter, avec une seconde de mieux sur Julian Sheen. On a vu une belle bagarre dans les premiers tours entre Julian Sheen et Maxime Lénard. Maxime Lénard qui était monté sur la deuxième marche du podium à Assen. Malheureusement, un contact a résulté en une perte de temps conséquente pour Maxime Lénard qui a perdu une position, et Riley Phillips est passé en troisième position. Julian Sheen qui est véritablement l'outsider, le pilote qu'on n'attendait pas et qui se mêle à la bagarre avec les trois protagonistes de Assen. Donc ça fait du bien évidemment de voir des nouvelles têtes, de voir des pilotes qui en veulent et qui font de cette compétition toujours un régal à suivre. Julian Sheen en deuxième position, Riley Phillips troisième, Maxime Lénard en quatrième position. C'est votre quatuor de tête, alors que nous sommes d'abord pour l'instant de la machine de Jay Shepherd, le pilote britannique en 7e position, à la poursuite de Louis Laquiez, le jeune pilote français du No Limit Racing. Ils sont deux de la même famille. Nous avons Louis en 6e position et Antoine juste derrière Jay Shepherd en 8e place, alors que les pilotes pour l'instant, ici Jay Shepherd, sont dans le 3e secteur pour le passage de la parabolique sur ce circuit de Dijon. Donc une entame de course très très animée, déjà 13 minutes de disputé. On va pas voir le temps passer, hein, je pense, dans cette épreuve, tellement il va se passer de choses. En tout cas, on va garder toute notre attention sur les bagarres au fil du top 10, mais également sur celle qui fera rage pour la victoire, parce que Hugo de Wilde n'a pour l'instant qu'une seconde et des poussières d'avance, moins désormais sur Julien Shane, qui est certainement dans le rythme pour pouvoir aller le menacer, contrairement à 2 semaines lorsque Hugo de Wilde s'était imposé avec la manière et l'écart qui allait avec lors de la première épreuve, alors qu'ici, nous voyons en direct un très très beau dépassement de la part de Jay Shepherd qui ravit la 6e place à Louis Laquiez juste à l'entame du premier virage. Thank you, Chris.
Good stuff. Yeah, we just were on board with Jay Shepherd there. Just going to have a look at what's going on from outside of the car now, because Jay Shepherd there, side by side with Laquier, a fantastic battle. This, I thought I was going to see more working together here, and again with this, Jay Shepherd fighting away with Louis Laquier, and Pierce Stockton, I think, will be happy to see that. So who is this we have closing in? Let's have a look behind. Antoine Laquier is the driver that is now closing in on these guys. He is only 8 tenths behind. I'm just going to, while we jump on board with Antoine Laquier, I'm just going to do a quick run through of the top 10. So it's Hugo de Wilde, Julian Skeen, Riley Phillips, Max Leonard, Pierce Stockton, Jay Shepherd, then Louis and Antoine Laquier. Antoine, we are on board with David de Seeger, Charlie Hart, who is only 11 years old. He's in 10th place, youngest driver across the virtual Funcup All UK Series. De Cluzo, and then Schinkel, Xavier Ville, Eric Steenle, then we have Eric Steenlein, then we have Pierre-Andre Guillaume, Axel Soyez, Hajuj is in 17th, Robin Donat is in 18th place. But we are on board with Antoine Laquier here, Guillaume. He's trying to chase down his brother Louis, who is currently hassling the back of Jay Shepherd.
Yeah, absolutely. And the two brothers, Laquier, two of the 4 drivers, new drivers that we've seen from Assen, part of the No Limit Racing team. And this is a French team. For those of you unfamiliar with the French competition, they are the reigning champion of the French Funcup. So nice of them to be part of this event, and this is very nice indeed to have them as part of the competition of this impressive lineup. And it shows that, you know, drivers need to keep themselves busy, and they're pretty much happy, I think, to be part of those virtual races. And this is some sort of a practice as well for them before the start of the season. So welcome to you guys from No Limit Racing. And so far, so good for the Laquier brothers, down in 7th and 8th position. As we can see right now on your screen, the battle is raging between Hugo de Wilde and Julien Skeen in 1st and 2nd position. Less than 1 second, less than even 9 tenths of a second between those two. And Julien Shane, who took the wheel of the Vaillant car in 2nd position. Michel Vaillant, of course, a very familiar comics figure for the French public, very well known for over half of a century. And a beautiful livery for Julien Shane, down in 2nd position, as we are on board for the Belgian driver coursing his fellow countryman Hugo de Wilde, on course maybe for 2nd victory in a 2nd consecutive victory, but we're still 43 minutes to go before the checkered flag, so a long way to go for both Hugo de Wilde and Julien Shane.
Yeah, this is great stuff. And Guillaume, he's. I thought, I'm sure you may have thought the same, that Hugo would disappear off into the distance here. But you have to say, Julian's done a great job to close him back in, having lost a toe. I think since we had that, since we saw Max Leonard drop away and lose time to Riley Phillips, and on Max Leonard, he's closing in Riley Phillips, it appears. Riley likewise dropping away. These two have pulled away together. They've got over 5 seconds over Riley Phillips. It is now a 2-horse race, and Hugo de Wilde definitely has something to think about here, which is the car we are on board with, Julian Skeen. Julian Skeen is going to make this a battle for the lead again very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. A two-horse race, as you said, and different tracks, different configuration. And I had a bit of a talk with Hugo de Wilde coming to this race. He told me that unlike for Hassan, he didn't have as much as time as he would have liked to practice on his sim rig coming to this race. So that might be a reason. But Hugo de Wilde actually competed on this track on two occasions. One. It was at the time when he was competing in the French F Formula 4, and he did some testing coming to the championship, and he actually won on this very track back in 2018, Hugo de Wilde. This is one of the circuits where he actually pulled off one of his best performance in this season when he was vice champion of France in the Formula 4. So certainly a track that he knows very well and is familiar with, but this is still his first time at the wheel of a VW Funcup car, shall we say. Still virtual, but still a first time for him, as we can see right now on your screen. Oh yeah, contact!
Yes, contact there. Jay Shepherd going round, and Antoine Laquier is just going into, quite catching the back of him. So that sent Jay Shepherd round. Let's try and find what's happened to Jay Shepherd. I can just see that he's just got going again now, and he's lost 3 seconds to Antoine and Louis Laquier. What did you make of that one, Guillaume?
It was very bizarre. I think in the first corner it just happened very, very quickly. I didn't quite see how it went, but let's just call it a race incident. Maybe I don't know if there's going to be any penalties coming up for any of those drivers, but I think that should be called a race incident. That's quite unfortunate for the driver who just went away.
Yeah, that's a real shame, and we are just coming up now. We're just another 10 minutes gone. We're just coming up to the 40-minute countdown. So I'm going to have a look now at Louis Lacquier's. We'll see where he is. You can see that's now left him to chase down Antoine Lacquier's with Jay Shepherd behind. I wouldn't count Jay Shepherd out of this. I'm sure he'll be trying to fight his way back into this. But another battle I have spotted on going a little bit further down is Charlie Hart. So Charlie Hart is the 11-year-old, is into the top 10 now. Charlie Hart is sitting in 10th place. I'm going to jump on board with Charlie Hart. And he is just behind David de Seeger. So we can see David de Seeger just ahead of us here, Guillaume. But now we're a further 10 minutes in. I'll let you do another update for us.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Et on se retrouve ici à bord de Charlie Hart, le jeune pilote britannique, sur les talons de David de Zager, pilote belge bien connu de la part de nos aficionados franco-belges, non seulement pour ses apparitions dans le cadre de la Ford Fiesta Sprint Cup, de la VF Cup, de la Legend Car Cup, mais précédemment aussi de la Formule Renault 1600. Ce circuit d'ailleurs qui est familier avec David de Zager, qui lui rappelle de bons souvenirs, parce que c'est ici même sur ce circuit de Dijon prenois que David a obtenu un podium lors de sa saison de Formule Renault 1600. C'était en 2007, il avait terminé sur la 3e marche du podium. Est-ce que David pourra peut-être nous faire une répétition de ce résultat? En tout cas, il est en 9e position pour l'instant, pourchassé par Vincent Ducluseau, puisque nous avons entre-temps perdu le jeune pilote britannique. On en prendra des nouvelles d'ici quelques instants. Pour l'instant, on se retrouve en tête avec Hugo de Wilde, imprenable pour l'instant. 1 minute 35, dernier chrono réalisé par le jeune pilote belge, avec pour l'instant un chouïa d'avance sur son plus proche poursuivant, avec une belle bagarre là-bas entre Hugo de Wilde et Maxime Linard en 2e position. Alors qu'on va refaire le point d'ici quelques instants. Je vois que nous avons effectivement perdu dans la bagarre Julien Chine. Je pense qu'il y a quelques soucis là-bas, puisqu'il est retombé en 3e position. Maxime Linard en 2e position désormais, alors qu'il reste moins de 40 minutes jusqu'au drapeau d'Amy. Hugo de Wilde donc imprenable, avec une avance pour l'instant assez conséquente sur Maxime Linard, mais ça ne semble pas être le cas. En tout cas, il semble y avoir une petite confusion au niveau du classement sur la gauche de votre écran, puisque c'est bien Julien Chien qui est en 2e position et qui est dans la roue de Hugo de Wilde pour l'instant. Maxime Linard en 3e position avec Riley Phillips dans sa roue en 4e place. Thank you, Chris.
Good stuff. Yeah, it looks as if Charlie Hart was was supposed to be having a drive-through, I think, and has been given a penalty. He's been sent back to the pit. So a real shame for Charlie Hart. He was just about to get in a good battle there for ninth place. But we look at our two leaders at the moment. But I tell you what, there looks to be a good battle going on between. There looks to be a change for third. So looks like Max Leonard is third. So we'll go back to this battle for third. Riley Phillips right with Max Leonard here, as they're about to come onto the start-finish straight. So we can see Max Leonard with Riley Phillips just ahead of us. And down the start-finish straight we go. So Max Leonard just ahead of Riley Phillips. We'll have a look on board with Riley Phillips. We can see there is Max Leonard just ahead of us. Through the first corner we go. Fantastic stuff this with Riley Phillips just ahead, chasing down Max Leonard. This has been a position that has changed hands. So Leonard has now gone ahead of Riley Phillips. Riley Phillips has a decision whether he wants to stick behind Max Leonard and see if the two can work together, or whether he decides to take the fight back to him and keep it a fight until the end. In the meantime, we'll have a little look at our battle for the lead, because Julian Skeen will just check in and see the gap. It still remains at around 1 second. So, in fact, going back to Riley Phillips, we'll stay with Riley as we go on to another lap. And Riley Phillips doing well so far, as had a good start to the season, as Riley Phillips, fantastic first round, and did very well in the UK series so far as well. And we continue to look at him as he comes on to the start-finish straight. And Guillaume, so far, he's been quite impressive, hasn't he? Riley Phillips. We've got at least two battles going on. Although the field may be broken up, we do still have two battles, one going on for the lead and one for third.
Yeah, two battles that we're gonna have to keep our eye on, and this one, Max Leonard and Riley Phillips for third position as we speak into the first corner, and the battle for victory up the ranking between Hugo de Wilde and Julien Cheyne. This is very interesting indeed. Two battles going on for the best position, and we don't know at this point of the race, with 35 minutes to go before the checkered flag. Difficult to say who's gonna finish before the other. So that's really the beauty of racing that we've seen happening since the start of the championship, basically. And right now, the battle on your screen: Max Leonard and Riley Phillips. Once again, the two that we had the chance to see competing against one another during the round one and Assen. It was a long way after and behind Hugo de Wilde, who had little problem for really cruising to the win in Assen. But this time, this is a different story, because he has Julien Cheyne just behind him in second position. We're going to drop back to them in a minute, but at the moment we are on board Riley Phillips, the creator and organizer of this race. Is going to try to go around the inside of Max Leonard on the start-finish straight, trying to take advantage of the tow just behind him and maybe get around the inside of the first corner. A bit of a touching over there, but it is not going to help his maneuver, that's for sure. But Riley Phillips is maybe trying to impress, or trying to put some more pressure on Maxime Leonard, the engineer and mechanic of the M3M Belgian French team of the European Funcup. But he stays in fourth position.
Well, he's definitely just working with him here. I think Riley's biding his time. I think he's thinking, you know what, if Julian Skeen and Hugo de Wilde start getting in a fight, which goes on for, let's say, 10, 15 minutes, a gap at 6 seconds could easily close down. So I think Riley is doing the right thing here by just starting to push Max Leonard along. So we'll move away from this battle, because I don't think there's going to be any fighting between these two just yet. One person I do want to check in with is Jay Shepherd, actually, because we do remember that Jay Shepherd, after some contact with Antoine Laquiers, dropped away from Antoine and from his brother Louis at the same time. But Jay Shepherd has been putting in some brilliant laps, and Jay Shepherd is now starting to close in on Louis Lacquiers and also Antoine Lacquiers as well. So I'm sure this is going to be another fight that develops. It's a real big gap before we then go back to De Cluzo, who's in 9th, Schinkel rounding out the top 10. Just to quickly check in with our 10th place battle here, you can see De Cluzo and Schinkel fighting away for 9th and 10th position. So this is another great battle that perhaps we can stay with while we continue to keep an eye on Jay Shepherd closing in on Louis Lacquier. So we'll go on board with Schinkel here, Guillaume, as he is trying to pile the pressure on De Cluzo.
Yeah, Schinkel here in the straight line. Oh, he's going to go for it, certainly. Trying around the inside. There he goes. And there should be no problem for him to get into a 9th position. But Vincent De Cluzo might want to try to go around the inside and cross the line and get the advantage back. Shall we see what's going to happen between those two? And Schinkel, going in 9th position, and he stays there. Now going around, they're going side by side around the first corner, and Schinkel got the advantage, beautifully made by the Belgian driver. Now in 9th position, Christophe Schinkel from the M3M team, one of the 9 cars aligned by the French team in this race. There were 10 of them in Assen, 7 in the previous in Spa. So a really beautiful presence from this team, and a lot of ambitions from M3M, as we can see with Hugo de Wilde still in 1st position, and Julien Chaine just behind him for 0.6 of a second. But this battle going on right now on your screen, Christophe Schinkel in front of Vincent De Cluzo in 9th and 10th position. Next one for Christophe is indeed Jay Shepherd in 8th position.
Right, let's have a look at who is outside of the top 10. So we'll see here Xavier Ville. He is in 11th and is not the battle going on for 9th place there. So Xavier Ville in 11th. Behind Xavier Ville, we have David De Siga. David De Siga running in 12th, has quite a bit of space either side. But if a battle kicks off ahead, and we could see David De Siga maybe sneak into the top 10. Down in 13th place, this is Merwain Hajouj. Is some 18 seconds back from David De Siga, but Merwain Hajouj trying to, it could be coming under pressure because behind Merwain Hajouj, he has to be wary of Pierre-Andre Guillaume, who is currently in what is being shown as 15th place, but I believe that might be 14th because Eric FC was briefly displayed in the pits, and in fact, yes, Eric FC has less, so that's changing on my screen now that Pierre-Andre Guillaume is indeed in 14th place. Then behind Pierre-Andre Guillaume, we have Axel Soyez. So Axel Soyez is in 15th. We haven't seen a huge amount of him so far this evening, but Axel Soyez still circulating safely. Behind Axel Soyez and back in the race after his penalty is Charlie Hart. Young Charlie Hart in 16th. Great to have him competing. And I believe that's the rest of the runners and riders, those that are out there anyway, because Robin Donar is down in pit road, Guillaume. So I'll quickly leave you to give us another update, Guillaume, as we now hit the halfway mark of this race.
Absolutely. And just for information, I had a bit of a message sent by Jean-Luc Dubois, who is the owner and manager of the M3M team, and he's following the race currently. And he just told me that previously we had a bit of a mix-up between Maxime Minard and Julien Chaine for 2nd and 3rd position, and it has to do with a bit of a contact that happened between the two. But now we have, as we speak, Julien Chaine in front of Maxime Minard, 8 seconds between them. So there is a reason. Chers amis, nous avons dépassé le cap de la mi-course dans cette deuxième épreuve de la Virtual European Fun Cup ici sur le circuit de Dijon. Prenez-moi si vous nous rejoignez, soyez les bienvenus. Et comme vous pouvez le voir, nous avons Julien Chaine en visu avec en première position Hugo de Wilde, notre jeune espoir belge de la monoplace. qui eh bien, devrait reprendre la compétition si Dieu le veut et si le calendrier l'impose dès que possible en Formule Renault Eurocup pour sa deuxième saison. Et bien, Hugo de Wild, en attendant, eh bien, se fait les armes au volant de son simulateur et il le fait très très bien puisque après sa victoire en première manche à Assen, eh bien, le voilà qui mène à nouveau les débats sur le circuit de Dijon-Prenois. Vous le voyez ici à l'écran, mais Julien Shane n'a pas dit son dernier mot. Le nouveau venu pour cette deuxième épreuve qui n'était pas parmi nous à Assen sur le circuit néerlandais, mais le voilà ici sur le tourniquet de Dijon et bien décidé à mener la vidéo entre notre jeune Hugo. Et vous le voyez, une demi-seconde d'écart entre Hugo de Wild et Julien Shane. Pour l'instant, nous sommes à bord du pilote belge qui est au volant de cette magnifique vaillante aux couleurs, cette magnifique Funcup aux couleurs vaillantes, j'en perds mes mots. Juste d'ailleurs la Flower Power du Belgian Vehicle. Donc un très très beau duel entre Hugo de Wild et Julien Shane pour la victoire. Et on est loin d'avoir tout vu, certainement à moins d'une demi-heure, 27 minutes pour être précis, du drapeau dernier. Troisième position pour Maxime Linard et Riley Phillips qui s'était bataillé ferme pour la deuxième place lors de la manche d'ouverture de Assen. Puis nous avons en cinquième position le pilote britannique Pierce Stockton devant Antoine et Louis Laquiès, les deux pilotes français du No Limit Racing en sixième et septième position. Huitième place pour Jay Shepard devant Christophe Schinkel et Vincent Ducluseau qui referme le top 10. Top 10 tout à fait provisoire évidemment, puisque nous sommes encore loin d'avoir tout vu certainement lors de cette deuxième épreuve de la Virtual European VW Funcup Series. À bord pour l'instant de Julien Shane qui pourchasse Hugo de Wild qui va devoir certainement se retrousser les manches pour conserver cette première place durant la petite demi-heure restante sur ce circuit de Dijon-Prenois. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Guillaume. Right, we are on board with Julian Skeen and we are heading up to the start-finish line. We are into the second half of the race and Julian Skeen, the gap is closing down. That is what a 4/10 of a second gap looks like. Young Charlie Hart is just up the road from us, having rejoined the race. But this is your battle for the lead, and this the closest it has been for some time. It is Hugo de Wilde and Julian Skeen. Hugo de Wilde, who was the winner of the first round, being chased down by Julian Skeen here. 3.5 tenths is your gap. They are well clear from Max Leonard in third, who is also well clear from Riley Phillips in fourth. Pierce Stockton in a world of his own as well in fifth place as well, with a lot of space either side. Antoine Laquies and Louis Laquies are getting very close together as Charlie Hart pulls out the way. I want to very quickly have a look at Louis Laquies, just quickly to see what is going on. So looking back to Louis Laquies, we can see he is right with his brother Antoine Laquies. So that is a good fight going on there as well. Jay Shepard in chase. But we must go back to the leaders because Julian Skeen, is right behind Hugo de Wilde here, Guillaume. And this, I wonder if Julian Skeen is just going to go for the overtake here or if he's going to work with him. What do you reckon?
That's always a tricky bet, isn't it? And Julien Shane might be asking himself the same question: what should I do now? But he's going around the outside of Hugo de Wilde on the start finish line, and shall we see who's going to come out on top? But at the moment, I think that Julien Shane is going to go for it at the moment, and Hugo de Wilde is going to have to fight back and try to keep his position as much as he can and as long as he can. But there he goes in a change for first place. Julien Shane, I think he's going to try to go around the outside, having the advantage and the upper hand. Yes, he does, but Hugo de Wilde is trying to hang on, but he has to back up a little bit. Down in second place. Oh, beautiful. I think they're two once again side by side down in the second sector. And Hugo de Wilde goes back on top. Beautiful.
Yeah, brilliant stuff there. Hugo de Wilde, as quickly as he lost the lead, gets it back again. So good driving there from young Hugo de Wilde, the Formula Renault Eurocup racer with Arden Motorsport. Julian Skeen there trying to get the cut back now out of that right-hander. He's going to be side by side here with Hugo de Wilde as they make their way towards this left. So Julian Skeen going to be on the outside here, still side by side, similar to what we saw in Assen. We had a lot of side by side racing there, and we're seeing more of it here as Hugo de Wilde defending this lead hard where he needs to from Julian Skeen. Let's jump on board with Julian Skeen as they come around the final corner. Let's see if his approach changes this time. Went to the outside last time. Let's see if he tries to find some space on the inside. Surely Hugo de Wilde ahead of us is going to dive straight to the inside as down the straight we go. And Julian Skeen this time pulls to the inside. Hugo de Wilde not covering it off. So Julian Skeen back into the lead. Hugo de Wilde will drop in behind, but he will now have a chance of getting back past. So if we come out of view, we can see Hugo de Wilde is going to try and dive back down the inside of us, and Hugo de Wilde not quite able to find a way through. So Julian Skeen now has the lead once again, Guillaume.
Yeah, beautiful between the two, and still very fair so far in this battle. And still 23 minutes to go before checkered flag. And right now, Jules Lachine has the upper hand in front of Hugo de Wilde. And this reminds me, I wasn't there, obviously. None of us was there back in 1979. But it's actually quite amusing to say that this battle for the lead reminds me of a famous event that happened back in 1979 on this circuit of Dijon. And this is why the track of Dijon is quite famous amongst motorsport fans, is for this beautiful and legendary battle between Gilles Villeneuve and René Arnoux, one on the Ferrari, one on the Renault in Formula One. It was during the French Grand Prix in 1979, and the battle between those two for what was the second position at the time, not the first. So this is quite different this time. But the battle was absolutely terrific, and it just happened in the last 3 laps of the race. And as we see as we see right now between those two, they were battling, banging wheel against wheel, trying to get past each other in a fantastic manner. It is one of the greatest battles in Formula One history, and maybe in motorsport history, and certainly one of the things why Dijon is so famous around the world in motorsport. And there we go again with Hugo de Wilde going around the inside in the first corner, and I think that goes through for the young Belgian, who takes back the first position. But can Julien Lachine cross the line and fights back into the second sector? It's gonna be very, very tight indeed. But Hugo de Wilde, yes, goes back into first position, but Julien Lachine is gonna try to cross him over, but it's going to be very tight. But beautiful battle so far. Still a bit more than 20 minutes to go. They're going to have to really, really stick to their plan and try not to do any mistake if they want to see a checkered flag in one piece.
Yeah, this is fantastic stuff, this, isn't it? This is similar to what we had at Assen, where we were side by side for just lap upon lap upon lap upon lap. It was real fantastic race. I don't know if I've seen a race where we've had people side by side for that long, and we are potentially cooking up something similar here. We have 20 minutes to go, and you're going to have to put a move in quite convincingly to get away, because every time they hit that start-finish strike, and they just change positions again.
That's the trick of the track, isn't it? That you have like that straight when you can actually do whatever you like, but it's up to you defending your position in the second and third sector, where this is way trickier to get past and to make your move. So we shall see once again a similar attempt from Julien Lachine, who might try to go around the outside of Hugo in the first sector. But yeah, that could be the same sort of demonstration, as you said, lap upon lap. And there he goes. Hugo de Wilde was going around the curb, between the curb and Julien Lachine. That was very tight on this case. But Hugo is doing his best and, going around the inside and up into first place again. But, if I were Julien Lachine, as we're riding on board with him, I would just try to be patient, and try to stick to the gap that I have, not to let Hugo get away too much in the second and third sector, the most technical part of the track. And then, once again, try and attempt to move in the start-finish line and go back in first position and try to, be that way as long as they can. But this is going to be tricky for both of them to keep the position, I think, until the checkered flag, unless there's something happening, and this is quite a bit tricky. I think that I might have seen a bit of a wheel touching over there, but it was very, very slight. But we could see some incident coming up. Hopefully not, for the sake of the race. But each of the two are going to have to be smart about this. Try not to make anything stupid, and to see a checkered flag in one piece, as we said. But at the moment, once again, Julien Lachine is going to try to go around the outside this time, and he might well succeed once again and go up in first position.
Yeah, this is great stuff, and I think you were even talking about it there, Guillaume. it's when you time your sort of race-winning move, if you like, isn't it? We've seen there examples of if you're behind coming out of that final corner, it doesn't really matter, as here they are side by side once again. Julian Skeen taking a different approach, this time going around the outside there of Hugo de Wilde, and has to stay in behind, so it's as you were. Do you want to be in first coming out of that last corner? It's definitely a debate that both Julian Skeen and Hugo de Wilde are going to be having in their own heads right now.
Yeah, definitely. And if I was in the mind driving those cars, I would try to, go for the maneuver that the other driver don't expect. As they keep playing with each other, going around the outside, on the outside. Oh, another a bit of a slide over there from Julien Shane, but who's able to keep on his line. But it was very, very tricky. But going around the outside or the inside on the straight line, the other one expects the move, so he might wanna let the other one go and try the same move on the next lap. So, but if you go lap upon lap upon lap until the end, the other one is gonna expect the move coming up in that straight, so he's gonna block. So I would try for plan B and try to go for an attack in the second or third sector and try to surprise your opponent and to put him in a position where he cannot fight back easily, at least not on the start finish line. And if you do that in the last lap and you put him in a position where he cannot actually overtake you back before the checkered flag, then that's a win-win for you. But that's theory, of course.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it's like you said there, Julian is just debating, is there anywhere else, I can try this move? But I hope we see this all the way to the flag now. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. And I know this is really hard to take our eyes off, but I do want to quickly check in with Louis and Antoine Laquies, because they are in a three-way scrap here with Pierce Stockton. This a battle that is now on for fifth place. So this is going to be really fantastic to watch these three as well, as much as we have that battle for the lead, and that's fantastic. This, another great battle going on, Guillaume.
Absolutely. I'll make a quick French update.
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you. Chers amis, eh bien, si vous nous rejoignez pour l'instant, on se rapproche tout doucement de la fin de cette deuxième épreuve de la Virtual European Funcup Series. Il reste un peu moins désormais de 16 minutes avant le drapeau à damier, et nous avons en vue pour l'instant une bataille royale, non pas à 2 mais à 3 voitures, entre le pilote britannique Pierce Stockton et les frères Laquies, Antoine et Louis Laquies, entre la 5e et la 7e position. Nous avons en bleu turquoise Pierce Stockton et les frères Laquies qui le suivent comme son ombre. Donc ça va être superbe à suivre jusqu'au drapeau à damier, cette bataille à 3. Nous étions il y a quelques instants à bord de la machine de Julien Shane aux couleurs vaillantes, cette machine engagée au nom de Chronos Events contre la Flower Power du Belgian Very Club de Hugo de Wilde. Une bataille royale également pour l'instant pour la victoire après 28 tours de bouclé. Il reste un peu plus d'un quart d'heure désormais avant le drapeau à damier, et les leaders se tiennent en 2 dixièmes de seconde. Rendez-vous compte, 2 dixièmes entre Hugo de Wilde et Julien Shane. La bataille pour la victoire qui se veut royale et indécise certainement jusqu'au terme de cette heure de course ici à Dijon Prenoir, alors que nous voyons depuis le baquet de Louis Laquies, un superbe dépassement, sans doute une tentative de la part de Antoine Laquies qui va tenter de prendre l'extérieur sur Pierre Stockton, et Pierre Stockton qui ferme la porte de manière bien autoritaire dans ce double droit en dévers, ce premier virage du Dijon Prenoir. On a vu des superbes tentatives précédemment, mais ça n'est pas passé pour Antoine Laquies, qui demeure en 6e position, qui va devoir s'en remettre au tour suivant, peut-être pour ravir cette 5e place à Pierre Stockton. On revient en tête, comme on l'a dit précédemment, Hugo de Wilde toujours devant Julien Shane. Hugo de Wilde, vainqueur de la première épreuve de ce championnat il y a 2 semaines à Assen, en attente évidemment de la reprise de la saison 2020 de la Formula Renault European Cup. Ce sera la 2e pour notre jeune Hugo de Wilde, vice-champion de la Formule 4 française il y a de cela 2 ans. Et Pierre Stockton qui vient de partir à la faute, je pense, effectivement. And there's a bit of a mistake, Chris, from Pierre Stockton, who just dropped from 6th to 8th position, I think.
Oh, yeah, there we can see Piers Stockton has had a spin just as we were just checking in with the leaders. It looks as if something's happened with Piers Stockton, and was facing the wrong way coming out of the corner. I wouldn't like to debate on whether there was contact there, but Antoine, all I can say is he has lost time as well. So clearly the two have come together. We have to go back to our leaders, though, so as they are side by side. So here we can see back with the leaders now. Ugo de Wilde and Julian Skeen are once again side by side with each other. And now Julian Skeen is tucked in behind Ugo de Wilde, looking left, looking right as they come up to the right-hander. Oh, Julian Skeen just getting a little bit out of shape there. And now coming up the right-hander they go. Julian Skeen just getting away with that one, but pushing hard to try and get through. And still can't break Ugo de Wilde, but likewise Ugo de Wilde cannot pull away from Julian Skeen. It's absolutely fantastic racing around Dijon here in the Virtual Funcup European Series. This round number 2, and just like we saw in round number 1, brilliant racing. The only difference this time, Guillaume, is that it's for the lead.
That's for the lead indeed. Ugo de Wilde had pulled away so much in Assen that he had nothing to worry about. But this time he has Julia Shane just in his mirrors. And this is beautiful to see. A new face, a fresh name to be able to play for the win. And Ugo de Wilde is going to have to look at his mirrors and try to fight back as much as he can. But Julia Shane has maybe more than one trick in his bag to put into this battle. And we're entering the 12 last minutes of this race, and Julia Shane in second position. Once again, as we said, Chris, this is very tricky just to bet on one name or the other. But at this point in the race, if I were Julia Shane behind the wheel, I would try to be patient and try to make the decisive move, not try to go around Ugo de Wilde lap by lap, because that would be just a waste of energy and maybe be too demanding of your car. But if he's able to stick to Ugo de Wilde and really stay behind him and make the move in maybe the penultimate or even the last lap and try to block Ugo de Wilde from passing him again, then that would be just the victory ahead for him. But we're not there yet, and I'm pretty sure that Ugo might have the same strategy in mind, and we shall see what's going to happen. Ugo could tell himself, okay, I'm going to try to block him as much as I can, but I could just well let him by and go back and try to overtake him again in the last 2 laps. That's a risky bet, but that could well work.
Yeah, wherever they go, let's jump on board with Julian Sheen. I think you make a very good point there. As we head on to what is now going to be coming into the final 10 minutes, and Julian Sheen is coming into the pits. What is going on there? Julian Sheen has come into the pit lane, so I'm not quite too sure why that has happened. I'm going to see if I can find out what is going on there. But Julian Sheen has dived into the pits, and what a shame that is, Guillaume, because that leaves Ugo de Wilde out on his own with a lead of 7 seconds.
That was expected. We were just talking about the possibilities of them two battling for victory until the checkered flag, and there it is, Julia Shane coming to the pits. So, chers amis, ben voilà un fait de course pour le moins inattendu avec la rentrée au stand de la part de Julia Shane en deuxième position. On était en train justement de tergiverser avec Chris McCarthy sur les possibilités, en vue de la fin de course. Il reste moins de 10 minutes avant le drapeau damier, qui allait pouvoir l'emporter entre Julia Shane et Ugo de Wilde, qui n'étaient séparés que par une poignée de dixièmes de seconde. Qui allait pouvoir l'avantage? Eh bien, pour l'instant, on a un semblant de réponse, puisque Julia Shane vient de rentrer au stand. Avait-il une pénalité peut-être qui lui pendait au nez en quelque sorte, ou a-t-il eu un problème mécanique ou peut-être électronique? On va essayer évidemment d'en savoir davantage dans les minutes qui suivent, mais le résultat est bien que Ugo de Wilde, que vous avez à l'écran, au volant de cette Flower Power du Belgian Volley Club numéro 50, eh bien, se retrouve en tête et avec une avance plus que confortable, puisqu'il occupe désormais le leadership avec 7,5 secondes d'avance, ça aussi, entre 7,3 et 5 secondes d'avance. sur Maxime Linard, qui avait terminé à la deuxième place déjà lors de la manche d'ouverture de Assen aux Pays-Bas. Julien Chaine qui a rétrogradé en troisième position, qui est donc toujours en piste. Julien Chaine, voilà, vous l'avez à l'écran, troisième position pour le pilote Chrono 7 sur volant de cette machine aux couleurs vaillantes. Troisième place donc pour Julien Chaine qui s'est remis dans la ronde, mais qui a 12 secondes 6 de retard sur la tête de course, qui n'est pas loin de Maxime Linard, mais sera suffisant alors qu'il reste moins de 9 minutes avant le drapeau d'arrêt pour éventuellement remonter sur Hugo de Wilde. Eh bien, ça va être toute la question de cette fin de course et qui va nous tenir en haleine jusqu'au bout. Thank you, Chris.
Right, let's have a look at battles going on down the field. I'm going to go and have a look at David De Siga because he is about to go down the inside here of Vincent De Cluzo. And David De Siga has made his way into 10th place. So great stuff there from David De Siga, but now De Cluzo behind is going to be in the tow. So let's jump on board with Vincent De Cluzo as he is in the slipstream here of David De Siga. He's going to look to the left-hand side now on the outside, and De Cluzo will make his way back past David De Siga there and back into 10th place. So Vincent De Cluzo, as long as we don't see David De Siga come flying down the inside, is going to be in 10th. I want to actually have a look at Piers Stockton in 8th place. Just seeing Piers Stockton. He is not too far behind Antoine Laquiers. Let's jump on board with Piers. He's got a huge gap behind, but after his little instant earlier in the race that we didn't see, which saw both he and Piers Stockton losing time. We don't quite know what happened to have caused that, but Piers is now closing in on Antoine Laquiers, and potentially we can see a round 2 fight between these two going into the final stages of the race. De Cluzo and De Siga continue to fight, but we'll stay with this one, Guillaume, as they now come on to the start-finish straight with 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, 7 minutes to go, and we'll keep an eye on what's going to happen as well up front. The order between Maxime Linard and Julien Chaine. This is a battle for second position, and as we have here, David De Zager and Vincent Ducluseau battling for 10th position as we speak, down in the second sector of the track, and on the left of your screen with the orange and white livery. This is David De Zager, the Belgian driver, up into 10th position in front of Vincent Ducluseau. Those two battling hard in the start-finish straight, and David De Zager trying to keep his opponent just behind. Pretty interesting indeed it is between this is Xavier Well, my apologies, I think against David De Zager, but David De Zager has the upper hand as for now. David De Zager, who has some fun memories about the Dijon racetrack, as we mentioned earlier in this race. This is on this track that more than 10 years ago, back in 27, David De Zager got his first podium in Formula Renault 1600. So a good memory for the reigning champion in the Ford Fiesta Sprint Cup in Belgium. Very fast driver, and now competing for fun as well, but doing a lot of great stuff behind his simulator. Now David De Zager making his way up into 10th position. A quick look at the order up front. Hugo de Wilde still 7 seconds in front of Maxime Linard. Julien Chaine down in 3rd place and 4 seconds behind Maxime Linard. Still quite tight, but could we see a change of order with 5 minutes to go, Chris? Between Maxime Linard and Julien Chaine, for example. I think at this point that Hugo de Wilde, if he doesn't make any mistakes or doesn't have any penalty, that should be, he's on his way to maybe a second victory in a row.
Good stuff. And as we come now, we're just about to start the final 5 minutes. What we will do is head to Piers Stockton as he continues to chase down Antoine Laquiers. And Guillaume, I'll let you give us another update.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Hugo de Wilde, eh bien, avec 34 tours déjà de bouclés, nous sommes rentrés dans les 5 dernières minutes de cette épreuve de Dijon, chers amis. Et Hugo de Wilde, on le mentionne à l'instant, qui semble bien parti, bien pour ajouter une nouvelle perle à son collier de victoire, une deuxième victoire consécutive. Ça semble en tout cas être très bien parti pour le jeune pilote Formule Renault Eurocup. puisque après s'être imposé il y a 2 semaines sur la piste de Assen, il semble très très bien parti pour donc remporter la victoire ici à Dijon. 7 secondes 3 d'avance sur ce Maxime Mélinard. Julien Chaine en 3e position. Julien Chaine qui il y a encore quelques tours de cela était en très bonne position pour pourquoi pas revendiquer la victoire face à Hugo avant de rentrer au stand. On essaiera d'en savoir plus sur ce qui s'est passé pour Julien Chaine. Une pénalité peut-être sans doute à passer dans la voie des stands, mais Julien Chaine donc a été rétrogradé en 3e position et à 5 secondes d'avance sur Riley Phillips en 4e place devant le jeune pilote français Louis Laquiez. Nous avons pour l'instant à l'image Pierre Stockton, le pilote britannique au volant de cette magnifique Funcup aux couleurs bleu turquoise. En 8e position, Pierre Stockton à la poursuite de Antoine Laquiez. Jay Shepard en 6e position. Et pour l'instant, nous avons encore 3 minutes et 30 secondes à tenir dans cette course, et bien qu'on n'a pas vu passer tellement il s'en est passé des choses, évidemment, non seulement pour la bataille pour la victoire, mais également pour les places d'honneur. Il reste peu de temps jusqu'au drapeau de l'année. Quelque chose peut encore se passer, mais en tout cas, on ne s'est certainement pas ennuyé sur le circuit de Dijon-Prenois. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Guillaume. We'll stay with Piers Stockton. Then we've got 3 minutes to go. Why don't we jump on board with Piers Stockton and have a look as he continues to chase down Antoine Laquiez. He's been in this chest fight with Antoine Laquiez where Piers closes the gap. As he does, Antoine responds and makes his move and pulls away once again. Fairly equidistant once we get out the top 10 between the likes of Xavier Viel, David de Siga, Vincent de Clouseau, Schinkel as well. In fact, what do we have? We can see actually Pierre-Andre Guillaume I thought he was close to Schinkel, but I don't think, in fact, that is the case. Pierre-Andre Guillaume is then in 13th, Charlie Hart in 14th. We'll do a quick run through of the order. So it's Hugo de Wilde who leads the way. Max Leonard is second. Julian Sheen is in third place. Then we have Riley Phillips in fourth. Louis Laquiez is fifth. Jay Shepard is sixth. Antoine Laquiez is seventh. Piers Stockton eighth. Xavier Viel ninth. David de Siga 10th. Then it's de Clouseau, Schinkel, Guillaume, Hart. And then out in the pits, we have Eric's FC and Robin Donor.
And Chris, just had an interesting information for the end of the race from Olivier de Wilde, the father of Hugo and fellow journalist in motorsport in Belgium. He just told me that Hugo is going to wait from Maxime Minard. We have 7 seconds between them, but Hugo is going to wait for Maxime Minard to make the photo finish to celebrate the 1-2 for the M3M team.
Why don't we? Well, let's jump back with Hugo de Wilde because we are coming on to what could possibly be the final lap of the race. And I am just going to check that. But that would be fantastic because looking at Hugo de Wilde, just in the background, you can see Max Leonard behind. And that really would be great, wouldn't it, to see that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a nice gesture for both of the drivers and for M3M, you know. And, you know, it's fair to say that the Belgian Very Club, for which Hugo de Wilde is a representative in this competition, has been kind enough to report on the performance of Hugo and talk about the race and the championship in the press. So, you know, once again, a good performance from Hugo, and that's nice. That's nice of him, and it's nice of M3M to celebrate the victory and you know, make the best of the performance and celebrate that online as well.
Well, I'm not too sure if this is, in fact, the last lap. Yes, I'm being told it is. So, well, Guillaume, I think I'm going to hand it over to you to let us call us home in French. We've got Hugo de Wilde leading, Max Leonard behind, and we've only got a couple of corners to go.
Thank you so much, Chris. Et voilà, chers amis, nous sommes dans les derniers virages, les derniers coups d'accélérateur de la part de Hugo de Wilde que vous avez à l'écran. Notre jeune représentant belge en monoplace international en Formule Renault, qui est bien ici. Il se donne à cœur joie dans le championnat européen de The Funcup virtuel. Un dernier virage, une dernière remontée, un dernier coup d'accélérateur. Ce sera la victoire et le drapeau à damier pour Hugo de Wilde après une course de main de maître, une deuxième victoire consécutive pour Hugo de Wilde qui va franchir le drapeau à damier d'ici un petit instant. Voilà, ça va être fait. Et qui, comme il l'a dit, eh bien, attend très sportivement Maxime Linard en deuxième position. Voilà la photo finish pour M3M. Alors que nous sommes rentrés dans le dernier tour, semble-t-il, où le drapeau d'Amiens a été franchi. Donc voilà, la célébration est effectuée. C'est la victoire pour Hugo de Wild et Maxime Linard, doublé pour le team M3M de Jean-Luc Dubois, que l'on salue s'il nous écoute encore. Et une très très belle performance de la part des deux pilotes. Magnifique victoire donc de Hugo de Wild qui l'emporte sur Maxime Linard, qu'il a sportivement attendu pour la photo finish, célébrer le doublé de la part de M3M. Julien Shane en troisième position, quatrième place pour Riley Phillips, cinquième position pour Louis Laquiez, 2 rangs devant son frère Antoine, Jay Shepard entre les deux en sixième place, huitième place pour Pierre Stockton, Xavier Well, neuvième position, dixième place pour un autre de nos compatriotes belges, David de Zager, devant Vincent Duclusio. Nous avons Christophe Schinkel, 12e, Pierre-André Guillaume, 13e, Charlie Hart, 14e, Robin Donat en 15e position. Et une très très belle épreuve qui se conclut ici sur le circuit de Dijon-Prenois. Magnifique démonstration de la part de Hugo de Wild et un très très beau doublé de la part de M3M. Bravo à eux, bravo au Belgian VW Club et merci en tout cas à tous et tous pour ce très très beau spectacle. Thank you Chris. This was once again one great race that we've had today in Dijon.
Yeah, well, I'm just seeing the drivers. I don't know if. Well, it's now being said it was on the final lap, even though it told us that before. So there has been a little bit of confusion, and I think that's why no one's really overtaking each other. So I'm not.
Yeah,
too
I wasn't
sure
sure about that actually, but
yeah,
I figured it was done.
Is someone just going to make a run for it now? It's absolute chaos. What's going on here?
Actually, there's a bit of a change because Julia Shane seems to be in first position
making a run
now.
for it. And now we have Jay Shepard facing the wrong way. After Charlie Hart going round with him. Julian Skane's just gone. And Hugo de Wilde is going to lead us up to the line. I mean, we will give him the victory, but maybe they're going to come across the line one more time, Guillaume, so I'll hand it back over to you.
Et voilà, donc un nouveau passage de la ligne d'arrivée. Donc un peu de confusion là-bas dans ce dernier tour, mais la victoire, semble-t-il, semble acquise pour Hugo de Wild devant Maxime Linard. Voilà les pilotes qui rentrent au box et dans la pit lane pour célébrer cette victoire. Julien Chine qui était le premier effectivement dans la pit lane, de le classement qui sera défini comme tel avec Hugo de Wild victorieux devant Maxime Linard comme nous l'avons dit précédemment, ce qui conclut en tout cas cette deuxième épreuve de la Virtual European VFN Cup Series ici à Dijon-Prenois. Bravo en tout cas pour tous nos participants et de ce très très beau spectacle que nous avons eu le plaisir de vous commenter et de suivre en direct.
Thank you, Guillaume. Well, just jumping back into our interview space, I think, Guillaume, what we should do is go straight to Team M3M and I'll let you have a chat with the guys, maybe.
Yes, just give me a second.
Team M3M, where are they running? Do I just click on it?
Voilà, bonsoir. Est-ce que vous pouvez nous entendre au sein du team M3M? Je pense que nous avons Hugo qui est en ligne.
Vous entends bien,
Hugo.
Ouais.
Ah, magnifique. Comment vas-tu?
Ça va, super, et toi?
Très bien, pas trop fatigué de l'effort. Ben, je propose, si tu veux bien, peut-être nous faire un petit résumé d'abord pour nos camarades anglophones, de savoir comment ta course s'est passée. Hugo, so this is one other victory, second victory in a row. Can you describe us the way you felt today and how it was for you from the inside?
It was a really, really tough race, really long. I had a lot of pressure during all the race. I had, I think it's Julien behind me, which was all the race like we were fighting quite a lot. And then I was, always under pressure. I had to be like really precise, try to do no mistakes in order to stay at the front and to avoid the slipstream because he was always catching me in the straight. It was quite close in the first corner every lap, but I managed to stay at the front, and then he got a drive-through. So it was a really long race and a hard race.
So, Chris, we have the response that we were looking for. It was a drive-through for Julien Chen, a penalty, so that actually, deprived him of the victory. So there you go. Donc, Hugo, très très belle performance pour nos camarades francophones. deuxième victoire d'affilée. On disait, comme tu viens de le dire précédemment, c'était un peu agité dans les premiers tours, mais tu es parvenu quand même à voilà, te remettre en selle et on va dire, gérer les débats depuis le début de course jusqu'à l'arrivée, avec la pénalité pour Julien, évidemment, qui t'a, j'imagine, un petit peu soulagé.
Ouais, c'est clair, c'est clair. C'était une course très serrée. Au tout début, Maxime est passé devant moi au départ. On a essayé de faire un travail d'équipe pour essayer de partir à deux. Mais Julien et Riley sont restés dans la fight. Ensuite, j'étais en tête devant Julien qui m'a mis beaucoup de pression tout au long de la course. J'essayais de faire pas beaucoup d'erreurs pour garder une marge et pour pas qu'il puisse prendre mon aspi. Mais c'était très serré. On s'est quand même bien battu au bout de la ligne droite plusieurs fois. On s'est bien amusé. Et puis voilà, il a pris une pénalité pour les track limits. C'est sûr que ça m'a soulagé parce que j'avais beaucoup de pression.
Voilà, tout à fait. Et au final, un nouveau beau doublé pour M3M. Je pense que nous avons Maxime Linard qui est avec nous. Est-ce que tu peux nous entendre?
Oui, salut Guillaume.
Hello, bonsoir Maxime. Ben voilà, à nouveau une belle performance. La deuxième place à nouveau, la victoire qui peut-être te passe un petit peu sous le nez, mais quand même une belle performance, une de plus. Voilà, comment ça s'est passé de ton côté?
Ouais, vraiment difficile dans les premiers tours. Comme Hugo l'a dit, on a essayé de travailler à deux, mais on n'a pas réussi à décrocher Julien et Riley. Et puis je me retrouve, je perds un petit peu de temps et je perds un petit peu. Il y a un gap qui se crée avec Hugo. Du coup, je me retrouve à la bagarre avec Julien. Puis malheureusement, la bagarre qui se finit un peu mal. Un peu dommage, un peu déçu de la manière dont la bagarre se finit, mais bon, c'est la course aussi. Et puis bon, j'ai essayé, du coup, après, c'était essayer de remonter et de revenir sur la tête. Mais bon, dans un premier temps, revenir sur Riley. Puis j'ai essayé de travailler un petit peu avec Riley, mais il y a un certain moment aussi, il a décroché. Même comme ça, on n'arrivait pas. Comme il n'y avait pas encore de bagarre pour la tête, ils n'étaient pas encore en train de trop de se bagarrer, on n'arrivait pas à réduire le gap. Et puis au final, je me suis retrouvé tout seul. Et tout seul, c'est compliqué de remonter, surtout sur les deux devant qui sont super vite. Donc voilà. Et puis bon, il s'avère qu'au final, Julien, enfin, je crois que c'est une pénalité, je ne suis pas sûr. Mais ouais, voilà. Donc deuxième place.
Voilà, bah, une deuxième place avec voilà, une belle performance quand même à la clé. Et on espère en tout cas vous revoir tous les deux et le reste du team M3M pour la prochaine épreuve. On peut compter sur vous parce qu'en tout cas, vous nous donnez beaucoup de plaisir à vous suivre et les victoires et les beaux résultats s'alignent en tout cas.
C'est sûr. Et je parle pour moi, mais je serai là la prochaine course.
Mais voilà, magnifique. Merci beaucoup à tous et bravo encore pour cette belle performance. Thank you, Chris. A bit of a chat with our fellow guys from M3M. All very happy, even though it was a hard race, as they say, but very fun for all of them, I guess.
Yeah, fantastic to hear from some of the guys. Is there any other guys in here that fancy a chat with Guillaume?
C'est sûr que si vous voulez prendre la parole, on vous en prie. Aucun souci.
Il y a encore du monde?
No one?
Well, I was only in P9, so nothing.
So that doesn't matter.
So, but I had great fun. I had great fun also. Unfortunately, I went out on the first corner, and then I received at the next lap a nice car in the middle of the track. But I managed to come back up to 9, so I was quite okay with that result.
There you go.
Yeah, good stuff. Guillaume, maybe we've chatted to some of. We'll actually now head back to the commentators' booth, I think, and wrap it up this evening. But thank you very much, guys, for taking part once again, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Yep. Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye bye. Merci beaucoup. Bonne soirée.
Bonne soirée.
Good stuff. Well, Guillaume, great to hear from the guys there. And what's been your overall thoughts? A shame that we couldn't quite see the battle at the end, but was great to see the gesture at the end there from Ugo and the M3M team.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good gesture, as you said. And M3M has been really impressive. You know, they've really put the effort since the start of the championship, and for every round, you know, they line up a lot of drivers, all different cars and liveries, so you can see that there's a lot of effort going on, a lot of work behind the scenes, just to make sure that everybody can have a lot of fun and try the best they can. So it's only rewarding for them to bring out good results, and we've seen them battling against one another, but still in a very fair position and still sticking to the rules. And so that's very nice to see. And the level of competition, the level of racing has been absolutely fantastic since the beginning. Not only in Assen, but in the pre-race that we had a couple of weeks ago in Spa, and once again here in Dijon. And these are just great locations as well. We have to praise the tracks that we visit, and Rally Phillips just made the right choices by picking up the right tracks where we know we can have a lot of fun, and for the drivers as well, just to give us a good piece of racing. So once again, that's what we had today, and thanks again to everyone. And it seems like everyone once again had a lot of fun. So on to the next already.
Yeah, and speaking of, I'll let you repeat this as well, Guillaume. Our next round is going to be at Magny-Cours on the 14th of June, and that will be the third round of the championship. We're not racing at all next week. We're on a break with the UK one as well. We will be back for round 4 of the UK series at Brands Hatch on the 21st of June, Guillaume.
Oui, voilà. Donc, un dernier petit mot donc en français pour toutes et tous qui nous avaient suivis ce soir. Un grand merci pour votre passion, votre enthousiasme, et on espère que vous avez pris autant de plaisir que nous à commenter, à suivre cette épreuve en direct à Dijon-Prenois. Très très belle victoire de la part de Hugo de Wilde, une deuxième place de la part de Maxime Linard, un doublé à nouveau pour M3M qui est venu en force comme depuis le début du championnat, avec des ambitions avérées, et les ambitions ont été satisfaites jusqu'ici. Et on espère que vous en ferez évidemment la publicité. Continuez de parler de vous, de parler de nous et de la compétition sur les réseaux sociaux. C'est tout ce qu'on vous demande, et c'est un moindre mal pour faire en sorte que nous ayons toujours plus de plaisir à poursuivre ce championnat avec un plateau toujours plus éclectique, toujours plus fourni. En tout cas, il est de très haute qualité, et sur les championnats, sur les circuits qui nous attendent, eh bien, ça nous promet encore beaucoup de plaisir, comme Chris McCarthy vous l'a dit. Prochain rendez-vous de la Virtual European VFN Cup Series, eh bien, ce sera le 14 juin sur la piste de Magny-Cours. Encore un rendez-vous familier dans le giron de la VFN Cup. Et croyez-moi, Magny-Cours, tout hors Dijon, ça monte, ça descend, c'est vallonné, et ça nous promet encore beaucoup de plaisir. En tout cas, merci à toutes et tous d'avoir été parmi nous ce soir, et merci beaucoup, Chris. Thank you, Chris. That was the last bit of a French part for me for tonight.
Thank you very much, Guillaume. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate alongside you as ever. Always very enjoyable, and great to be back working together on this as well. This has been the Virtual Funcup European Series. Thank you very much for tuning in. Round number 2 victory going to Hugo de Wilde, who remains unbeaten so far this season. That's all from us at Phillips Motorsport. We are back for the next bit of racing for the third round of the European Championship from Magny-Cours on the 14th of June. Until then, on behalf of the entire team and Guillaume Alvarez as well, please make sure you keep yourself safe, guys, and we will see you again on the 14th of June for more Virtual Funcup racing.